my damn, this that shit. Don't look back, I don't miss that shit. Oh my damn, this that shit. Don't look back, I don't miss that shit. Oh my damn, this that shit. Don't look back, I don't miss that shit. Oh my damn, this that shit.
Don't look back hits the buzzer beater to get to the Final Four.
That's right. Another dope-ass motif production.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Double digits for the podcast.
Number 10?
Yeah. How you feel?
Good. We got the Final Four set for the Paki bracket. Jump off, Pacific time, don't look back in the campaign.
That's right. All
multi
OT
beats.
Productions.
That's right. Wow, okay, you were ready for that.
I was. All right. So, do you got any topics you want to get on right off the bat?
No, just the Paki bracket continues to be fun. I'm glad, as much as some of the results surprise me, I'm glad that they do, because it would have been no fun to just have the most popular songs advance every time.
Right.
So it's cool to have, Jump Off beat Wobbin, even, whether people out there agree or not, like, it's just cool because it's more of a similar to an actual tournament or bracket or whatever, where it's not just like the high seed, the most popular, whatever wins. So That's been cool to watch. And I will probably, when we're done with it, once we've declared a champion, we'll do a little in-depth analysis and kind of talk about our feelings on it and whatnot. But I want to wait till it's completely over because I don't want to sway the results.
Makes sense.
Other than that, NCAA tournament has a Final Four. Villanova taking on Kansas in one side, and Loyola taking on Michigan on the other side. I'm scared shitless that Michigan's going to win a national championship. I will be very sad if that happens.
I almost had 3 out of the 4 Final Four teams if Duke would have won.
Almost had 3 out of the 4. So you had 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I had 2 as well. If I would have picked with my head instead of my heart, because I went with Michigan State.
Idiot.
Yeah. I had Michigan and Villanova. I have Villanova taking it all. And I'm in first in my bracket right now. If Loyola and Villanova both win, then I'm going to be in the money.
Wow. Me too. If Villanova wins, Villanova's got to beat Kansas in order for me to be in the money.
So let's see, what else did we have going on? I went to Justin Stone, Ryan Caraveo show in Ann Arbor.
Heard you did a song.
Yeah, I did Facade with Justin Stone. He hit me up randomly that day and was like, I was already planning on going to the show to support. He was like, want to do Facade? And I was like, sure, just let me learn my lyrics really quick. I almost got through it too. I like, normally, when you don't know the words or something like that, you stumble when the verse starts. I got through all the way till like 4 bars left and I lost it.
Wow.
But we vibed out. It was a vibe. It was fun. But appreciate him for bringing me out. There were some people, multiple people that knew me and were familiar with the Specktators and whatnot, came up before the show and said what up, and came up after the show and got some pictures and all that good shit. So that was cool. Ali from Toronto, fellow Swaggy Tracks artist, was there. I actually finally got to meet him face to face. We've done a song together and talked, texted back and forth and whatnot, but hadn't met face to face yet. He came down from Toronto to show love, so that was cool. Congrats to Justin Stone. He got engaged.
I saw that.
A couple days later. Media. Yeah, his hometown show a couple days later in Columbus, he popped the question, and she said yes, from what I understand. So congrats to him. What else do we got? We dropped a spectacle last week.
Yeah, first one in a long time.
First one. So you guys that have been asking to see The Office, check out the spectacle. Shout out Aiden for shooting that. He did a great job.
Aiden killed that.
Yeah, he got shit tons of video while Mo and I were doing extremely tedious, boring shit around the office, like putting up wallpaper and painting and, screwing shit into the wall and putting furniture together. And he actually
made the most boring shit look fun to watch.
Right. So go check that out if you want to see The Office a little bit.
That was like a month and a half of filming for him to put together that 14-minute video.
He straight up told me, he was like, I don't think going forward I'm going to get that much video.
Yeah.
And so I don't have to go through that much.
A lot
but
to sift through.
Yeah, no, that was dope. And so anyone that wants to see The Office a little bit, check that out. It's still early stages. Like, a lot has come together, but there's still a lot more to do.
Yep.
So there'll be more spectacles on the rest of shit coming together and all that good shit. So yeah, a lot going on this last week. So those are some things to catch up on. We'll finish the Paki bracket this upcoming weekend, and we'll see who takes it home. You got anything to update? Is that it, or you want to get right into shit?
I don't really have anything to update.
Oh, I told Danny that I would mention Green Mitten is launching their new website today. Not sure what time, but they've been kind of MIA as far as the merch game and stuff like that goes, while they do some other things. But they're relaunching the website. They got some new gear. I rocked one of their cutoff short sleeve hoodies on the first podcast we did, I think. So that'll be one of the items. But yeah, go check them out. I'll post some things on social media. Danny was going to come this last weekend and start working on a mural for our office. But he bailed.
That was this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh.
He bailed.
Typical.
Yeah. But he did say, so he gave me a heads up, and he was like, post on social media if you can get some people to give you paint. I'm pretty sure he gave me a specific type, but I'm pretty sure it's just whatever most people use to paint their walls.
Okay.
That type of paint. And I was like, whatever, like, I'll just buy you paint to paint this mural when you come here. I'm not going to do all that. But then when he bailed on me, he kept mentioning that, and I was like, dude, I'll just buy paint, like, whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's like, bro, it's going to be like $400 worth of paint. I was like, what? $400? I guess
what is he painting? I haven't even seen the design.
Oh, really? I'll send it to you. It's not it's not specifics, but it gives you an idea. But it's not even going to take up the whole wall. It's like most of the wall. But $400 worth of paint? So if anybody in the Lansing area has paint they want to give away, it'll be part of a mural in the spec office. Feel free to holler.
What did he have? Is it like the most colorful thing ever?
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with it. I really don't. I can't
Has
find
me
it
a little worried.
pull up, but no, whatever. But yeah, if anybody in the Lansing area has some extra paint they want to throw our way, it would be appreciated, and we'll figure out how to acquire it.
Okay. Well, so last week, Joel hit me up over text message, and he sends me this link about the Blurred Lines, Marvin Gaye lawsuit. And this is how in tune that I am with this whole thing is. I thought that this had already been dealt with.
Yeah, it's been going on for a long time.
I didn't know that it officially hadn't been there hadn't been a verdict on it yet. And apparently that just came down last week, and the Marvin Gaye family was awarded so much.
Explain to the people what the lawsuit was.
Okay, so I forget the terms of it all, but for what it is, it's what are they?
It's basically,
is it a copyright
yeah,
thing?
it's I mean, without getting into too much detail, because whatever.
Because I don't want to label it as something that it's not.
Marvin Gaye's side is claiming copyright on one of Marvin Gaye's songs that sounds like Blurred Lines, basically, to just give the most basic overview of the situation.
Right.
And they're suing Robin Thicke, T.I., and Pharrell.
Correct. And it's based off of the idea that it resembles Marvin Gaye's song, Gotta Give It Up, too much, to the point that they're able to. And the judge even said when she was giving the verdict that this is the first time ever that someone has been able to copyright a style of music. Like his style.
Yeah.
Which is scary to me. Like, And if you listen to the songs, I'm not going to play the songs on here. You can go and play the songs yourself and come up with whatever
Is
you
that
want
the
to.
okay? So, but did you say you're not going to play the song on here?
I don't. I mean, I can. Because
I
the
think
thing
we should.
is, like,
I think give the people some insight. Like you want me to just play that thing I was playing?
yeah, I just don't want to play too much because
we don't want to get the Marvin Gaye family after us.
We don't want to get the Marvin Gaye family after us.
Well, as long as we talk over it, maybe things will be okay. But most of you are familiar with this song.
Right.
But so this is the Marvin Gaye song.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you definitely get a similar vibe. I mean, this is a minute and a half. Do you want me to keep it going? Like, you tell me when you want me to stop it. They keep going back and forth.
I mean, you pretty much get the idea. Like, it's kind of the same tempo. There's a lot of the same type of instruments. A lot of the same notes in the bass line are being played. But it isn't the same song.
Right.
Like, we have to keep in mind that you can obviously see that this song was inspired by Marvin Gaye's song.
Right.
Inspired, though, is the key word here. Because what artist is not inspired by other artists?
Right.
But lyrics are different. I think
the whole way they do the vocals is quite different.
I read an article, and there was only 1 or 2 lines that had even the cadence of the Marvin Gaye song.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the thing. You can listen to that.
Let me interrupt you real quick because you mentioned the judge saying that it allowed them for the first time in history, basically, to copyright a style.
Mm-hmm.
When
I can't remember if she said style. It was something like
it was style, musical style.
Was it? Okay.
I'm reading it right now, but it sounded to me when I read it that was not the judge that made the decision. Like that was another judge.
Oh, maybe it was. I don't know. I can't remember what exactly the article said, but I mean it's right. Because
here's what I read. The Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals largely upheld the decision while clearing T.I. The judges rejected Williams and Thicke's request to order a new trial, saying Gaye's copyright was entitled to broad protection. They also this confused me. They also accepted the original judge's decision to instruct the jury to reach their verdict based only on the sheet music to the songs and not the recordings. So they only judged it based off the sheet music?
What? What? Really?
If I'm reading that right, they also accepted the original judge's decision to instruct the jury to reach their verdict based only on the sheet music to the songs and not the recordings. Which, if that's true, that's a major problem.
That's a huge
but then
problem.
To get to your part, it said Wednesday's decision prompted a strong dissent from Circuit Judge Jacqueline Nguyen. She said the decision let the Gays accomplish what no one has before: copyright a musical style. So they're saying that was a strong dissent from her. So it sounds like she's not the one that was for it.
Yeah. That's fine.
The Gays, no doubt, are pleased by this outcome. She wrote, they shouldn't be. So she was not with
that's fine. That's fine.
She's saying, like, they copyrighted a musical style. Right. That's fucked up.
Yeah. I agree. Like,
I agree.
Because as a musician, like, this is setting a dangerous precedent for music creation because I mean, and you have people possibly like, okay, I'm not going to go out on a limb here and say like the judge has never had any sort of like experience in music creation or whatever. You just don't know that. But based off of this judgment, you have to kind of assume that it's like any artist that you talk to is never going to refute the fact that they're inspired by somebody else.
Yeah, 100%.
And if they are very out of this world, not in touch with reality.
Yeah. And just to go back to what you started with, how you thought this was settled a while ago, I think this was the appeal maybe. There was a 2015 verdict that was upheld. So and by the way, the verdict is it's $5 million. The Gays get $5 million and also 50% of future royalties from the song.
Damn.
But the one judge that the Judge Jacqueline who doesn't agree with all this. She was like, she thought the two songs differed in melody, harmony, and rhythm. She said it strikes a devastating blow to future musicians and composers everywhere. It does kind of suck. Like something like that. When I listen to those two songs, can you hear inspiration? Can you hear similarities? Yeah, but how many songs out there? And it's funny, we recently talked about like that Tory Lanez thing.
Mm.
That's a different story to me. Like that one, you hear the flow, the lyrics, the delivery, the beat, all of it.
Even starting out with similar lyrics, like there was none of that in this song. Like the thing is, there was a tempo similarity for sure, but you can't copyright a tempo. And there was a similarity in the instruments that were used as far as like similar cowbells to the same tempo. Like you can't copyright that either.
Right, and that's where I was going with it is how many you could pick apart a lot of Billboard Top 100 songs and say, oh, they sound like this.
Right.
That sounds like that.
Right.
And then we'd have lawsuits flying around.
Exactly.
And the fact that this one won is a little bit scary.
It's super scary. Like, honestly, you listen to that song, and if you're a musician, you can't not be scared of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it honestly, when Joel sent it to me and I clicked on the article, I was like, is this for real? Like, this is actually a judgment?
Says musicologists have reacted with disappointment to the ruling, saying it might hinder creativity in the future. Joe Bennett, a professor at Berklee College of Music, wrote a note-by-note comparison of the two songs in 2014, which was a year before the first verdict came down, and he concluded they only shared a groove. What they have in common is indicative of the time period.
Yeah.
He said, if my favorite artist uses a cowbell and I use one too, can you copyright the cowbell?
Yep, exactly. That's the same thing that I read. Because the thing is, you listen, as a musician, you listen to that, and I was literally trying to give it a critical ear to what is similar in the song. That's what I came up with.
Yeah.
The groove is very similar.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of even the notes in the bass line are the same. Pretty much.
But I can't tell you how many new songs I hear that I talk to Q about music a lot.
Right.
One of the first things we do just naturally, if you know music and have a relatively broad catalog in your head,
yeah.
If you hear a new song, a lot of times you compare it to a song you've heard in the past. That's just there's only so many sounds and so much you can do with music.
You can't copyright a note.
Right.
You can't copyright an instrument.
And
you can't copyright a groove.
And the reason you can't do that is because there are only so many sounds. Like otherwise music would end.
We wouldn't have music.
That's
if you
what I'm
were
saying.
Able to do that.
It would be like people created music.
Yeah,
and
it was always those musicians.
Phase. Yeah,
unless a new instrument got invented.
Right. Exactly.
That was it.
Right.
That's insane.
It's a scary precedent to set. That's for sure. And you just kind of hope that, you know, the judges that made this decision, if it comes up again, that the correct decision will be made to set a better precedent, because at this point it's scary as soon as a decision is made and then upheld because it's like, but it's only as far as those court rulings and stuff go, that normally sets a precedent going forward, because
it's kind of insane that, like, because the thing is, if they're only making this decision on the sheet music,
that's one thing I'm interested in doing a little more research on, is like that makes no sense to me, because
zero.
We're talking, and that's when you start to, as a creative and stuff, just shake your head. It's like, okay, why are we, if we're talking about music, why the hell are we just doing using such an archaic way of comparing them? Look at the sheet music, that's it. What?
Why?
And like I don't want to go too far into that, because all I know is that sentence I read. They accepted the original judge's decision to instruct the jury to reach their verdict based only on the sheet music to the songs and not the recordings. So if that's true, that's absurd to me. That's the only thing I've seen on that. So I'm not going to sit here and say 100% that's what the case was, but that's what it seems like if that's what I'm reading. And
to me, that's somebody that is like, that doesn't know a lot about music.
Exactly. And they're making decisions for our music. Right. And the problem is, going forward, that's how a lot of things are handled in court, is next time somebody sues about something similar like that, they're going to reference this case.
Right.
And they're going to say, look, the Marvin Gaye family won that case based off the same thing I'm saying.
Right.
I should win my case.
I can only compare that to, you probably don't know what I'm going to say here, just because this, like, if anyone is an engineer or a mixer out there that does music for a living, and you had to prove that you didn't copy anyone else's mixing style just by how your equalizer looks. Not even how it sounds, how it looks.
Yeah. It's messed up.
That's dumb. That's
especially
stupid.
because there are more aspects to making a song than even just the beat. Like, if you just look at the sheet music, you completely ignore many of the vocals.
But music is all about feeling, though, too.
I know.
It's not a concrete thing. You can't see music.
And that's the thing as far as trying to make these rulings on music is, you know, if you look at sheet music, maybe something could be very similar, but if you heard two songs with that sheet music, you could be like, no, this song is completely different than the other one. But if you're not allowed to hear them, and you just have to say, oh, this is very similar to this, boom, $5 million and 50% of future earnings off the song.
That's insane.
What?
It's just not even a, oh my God. I don't know. I really don't have anything else to say about that, just because anybody that would argue the contrary is obviously just like, okay, like, yes, if you look at the sheet music and they're similar, like, all right, if I was instructed by a judge to look at the sheet music and they were pretty much the same, then okay. But, like, it's not the right judgment.
Yeah, and that's not the best way to get there.
Right.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
Yeah. It is what it is, I guess. Now I can't make music anymore.
Fuck. What am I supposed to do for beats? Apparently all your beats get to the Final Four.
Well, you know, I can't draw inspiration from anybody anymore. Probably all those Final Four beats would not be a thing.
Well, you've even said a lot of times as a producer, you take, as far as you go sit down in the studio to make a beat, a lot of times you'll listen to songs that you like and things that you're listening to or whatever just to get inspiration.
Right.
And then you'll go make a beat. And you're not necessarily saying, I'm going to copy this beat, but you get this vibe in your head and you're like, oh yeah, I want to make a beat like that.
Right.
And you go make it. And even if you were striving to quote unquote copy it, it would come out completely different. But if someone wanted to go back maybe and be like, oh, I can hear some similarities there, they could maybe do that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But that's the thing. You just have to be aware as a composer and producer or whatever too. Like, I know there have been times where you've done that and you've sent me a beat and I've been like right away, oh, that sounds like this song.
Right.
And we know those are ones, okay, yeah, that's not going to work. And it's not like you set out to do that, because you're always surprised when I hit you back with that. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this sounds exactly like this other beat.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to. There was one I remember, I think it was when we were making the parlay. And I told you, I was like, oh, that's what it was. I told you we had a bunch of beats, and I came back to the apartment, and I sat down with you, and I was like, I need, we were finishing off the project kind of, and I was like, we need something on there with just like some bounce. Mm-hmm. And you were like, how you always are when I try to give you these things, very defensive, like, what, you know, and I left, and of course, so you spend all the next day, even though you fought it to the death, working on that.
Right.
And you came back with, and you had asked me, I think, for a couple examples. And at the time, one of the songs that was out that gave me the feeling I was looking for was Collard Greens.
Yep.
Schoolboy Q and Kendrick. And I came back, and you had created a beat. I don't even know if we could maybe even find it. Do you remember what one that is? But anyways, you had created a beat that sounded.
Well, we didn't end up using it.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
But
I do
have
remember
the beat.
that. Yeah. Is it still in there?
I don't know. I'm about to look. Do you remember what it was called?
I want to say something purple or something like that. Something like that.
Oh shit! I can't. Yeah, it was. Can you play it?
Let me see.
But you had created a beat that to me sounded. Oh, here, I got it.
Oh yeah.
So this is what you came back to me with. And I was like, okay, this does have kind of the bounce that I'm looking for. But I was like, it's way too similar. And of course, because you had sat down and, you know, you had worked on this all day or whatever, you were like, you fought me on it. No, what? No, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, yeah, this is what I'm looking for, but it's just too fucking similar to that song. And next day, you go try to do something else. And what did you come back with?
Jump Off.
Jump Off. And Jump Off was unique and whatever. And that was the process. And it, like, you know, Final Four song. But sometimes that's just how things go as far as inspiration and the process and things like that. And all artists are there are a very few generational artists that really create their own sound.
Right.
But even they are inspired by other artists. It's just you just don't see it like you do with other people. It's more
subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're a little more ingenuitive where they do really come up with their own style, but those are few and far between. Like, I think a lot of people would look at like a Kanye as you know, amazing artist, comes up with has his own unique style and sound or whatever. Kanye came up off of samples and being inspired by a lot of the older generation before him and people around him and stuff. And that's the way music is. And so if you start
especially hip hop.
Yeah, especially hip hop. So if you start to chip away at that and take it away, you start to, and hip hop is the most popular genre right now.
Yeah. No, I know. I was trying to find I was listening to this.
Travis Scott effects on my shit.
What is this?
There was this video that was like, does Logic steal? And it was like comparing all of his like beats and like even the way that he's rapping over those beats. And then they were playing like other do you remember his intro or outro song to Incredible True Story? And it was those tribal drums and that Kanye used in like I can't remember the song. I was trying to find it because it was like the most genius way of like, this is exactly what we're talking about as far as it's not stealing. Like, it's being inspired by another artist because you can hear the similarities, the same thing as this Marvin Gaye thing.
Would you know the song if I said it?
Probably. Oh, I think was it Amazing maybe? Or was it?
Wait, what's the Logic song though?
It's, I wouldn't know.
What you want to be?
You said Incredible True Story?
I think so.
It wasn't this, was it?
Maybe it was an interlude. It could have been an interlude. Yeah, right here.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. I hear it right away.
Right, amazing. But like, is this copying?
See, to me, it like right now I hear amazing.
Yeah.
But it depends where you go with it. To me, like if you use a sound.
But see, right now he brings in that other instrument. Now it's not amazing.
To change it. I know. Now it's not amazing. Like the song. Yeah,
now it's not amazing. Right. No, but this is what I'm talking about with the Marvin Gaye thing. Is it's like, dude, you can hear similarities throughout the entire thing, but does that mean that it's like copying? No.
Right.
I mean, yeah, like the tempo's a little sped up here, but it's the same like.
But that's the problem. That's the problem. I'm not a sheet music guy, so but whatever. But that's the problem.
Right.
Maybe compare the sheet music on these.
Yes.
Maybe maybe very similar.
It would.
But if you listen to the two songs, no, they both did completely different things with it. And I bet you, I'll never speak for another man, but I bet you that if you asked Kanye, he would probably be like, "This is Logic." He would, like, he's doing something totally different than Kanye did.
Right.
Funny that Logic went the singy whatever route, and Kanye went the rapping route. That's rare. But if you ask Kanye about it, he would probably be like, I don't like that you used that sound that was very unique to this song by me. But because you did something so different with it, you know, it's not the end of the world.
No.
Like, that's music, and because he knows he's done things like that himself.
But no artist would say that. Like you are not an artist if you would claim copyright on that.
Yeah. This one by Logic always reminded me of Do You Know? And it's less, it's not the beat,
It's the type of shit
it's
that
the
they
flow.
read about, like Chris said, I gotta bleed it out. I've been in the zone, I can't be without.
Oh, Big Sean's, nope. No? Sounds like a Big Sean song to me.
But I need a vision, can't see without. I've been patient, never complacent. Left the underground when I left the basement, that's renovation. I spit this verse like a revelation. On the road with Kid Cudi and B.I.G.
Nothing? You got nothing?
I'm sure if you say it, I would know.
Got hits with Jay, now you wanna fuck around and make hits with me if it's meant to be.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm with it. I'm the only one that's putting shots up and like a potluck. You need
Yeah.
to come with it, don't run from it.
But
Like
that to me is another example of, I guarantee you, because I've done this, I guarantee you, Logic, and those are, by the way, that's Drake, Too Much, and Logic, Till the End. Go
Right.
listen to those songs, and not the beat, but the flow.
Right.
Very similar.
Yep.
But I guarantee you Logic didn't sit down and say, I'm going to write a song like Drake's Too Much. I'm going to use that flow.
Yep.
I guarantee you he's a Drake fan. We all know that. He's said it.
Yep.
He likes that song.
Yep.
He's listened to it many times.
Yep.
And when he sat down making his outro and on that beat, whatever, that's what came out.
Yep.
Because he was inspired by Drake shit. He
Yep.
didn't sit down and say, I'm going to copy that.
Yep.
And you have to leave room for that for artists and musicians, because if you don't, you just start to take all these things away. Now, if he did that over a beat that was super similar to Drake's Too Much, okay, then we're starting to talk about a problem, maybe.
Right.
But, lots of people are Logic and Drake fans.
Yep.
And I bet you there's not a huge percentage of people. You're a big Drake fan. I played you that Logic song and said, what does this sound like? And not to say you wouldn't come up with it if you heard the whole song, whatever, but you weren't sure where to go with it.
Well,
and that's the thing.
It's funny when you say that, because when that song first came out, because they came out around
it wasn't that long.
it wasn't that long
Yeah.
of a, but I do remember when those songs came out. I do remember when the Logic song came out that I did think that. But they've been so far removed now that I'm just like,
Yeah.
I mean, they're their own songs until you bring it up again.
If you do your own thing with a similar aspect, that's all I care about.
Right. Yeah. I think that's good on that topic.
That is a hard thing to make a judgment on, though, as far as the best judgments I think are made by musicians listening to the two songs and just asking a simple question of, did they copy that shit or did they not?
Right.
Which makes it difficult in a court of law, because in a court of law, a lot of times you want to run down a list of things and have it be this exact science.
Yeah, but
Which is why they went with sheet music and stuff like that, as opposed to just saying, here, listen to these two things. You have a good opinion on music. Listen to these two things and say, did they copy each other?
well, and that's
But
the
you
problem.
can't really do that in a court of law.
That's the
which is
problem
difficult.
with the family of a musician suing musicians.
Yeah,
That gets a little bit blurry too, because it's like
pun intended. blurry line.
pun intended. But I mean, come on, his family aren't musicians. Do you think Marvin Gaye would sue because of that?
Yeah,
himself?
Again, it gets tricky. Just hypothetically asking what people think and would do and stuff. But yeah, you'd like to think.
I would like to think the musician
you'd like to
would
think-
know.
Yeah, you'd like to think musicians would not do that, but people like money too. So
I don't know.
but yeah, you always question when it's the family of someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's an interesting topic and a scary topic for musicians. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
A very important one. Very serious topic.
Okay.
So I was on Twitter and I saw a tweet that was troublesome to me.
My tweet?
No,
Oh.
Joey's tweet.
Okay.
I want to get your opinion on this.
Our artist, Joey?
Our artist, Joey Alana.
Okay.
Do you think? I'll read the tweet and I want your opinion on it. If you think it's true or not.
Okay.
I quote: "When them other fools know you fresher than a mug, so they don't want you at their party. Hashtag I need a heat check." So my question to you is, do you think other people don't want Joey at a party because he's fresher than a mug?
I don't think so.
Well played. Didn't know you had that queued up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no. I mean, I don't even know how to expand on that because it's just not. I don't even think I should expand on it.
I just thought that was funny. Joey,
Yeah.
no one's not letting you at their party because you're fresher than a mug. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I also wanted to talk about the. Did you hear about the YouTube subscribe button that they came out and said that it doesn't do it? Literally 75% of the world thought it did.
No. Explain.
YouTube's now trying to like be a little bit more transparent with their creators,
It's always good.
and I believe I literally just saw this clip on YouTube, and it's been going around a lot. It's somebody that just took a clip from YouTube's live stream that they were just explaining stuff to their creators and stuff like that, and it was about the subscribe button, and they said that they take it upon themselves in their algorithm when someone clicks subscribe and that channel puts out a video, they don't send it to all your subscribers.
I've always wondered about that.
Which is
So
hold
do
on.
we know when it does get sent out to subscribers? Like what subscribers it gets sent out to?
Here, I'm gonna play this video because I retweeted it and commented on it on my Twitter.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it's pretty absurd. So
I only see when you bitch about the refs, I think.
We don't notify all of your subscribers, right? We notify all of your subscribers who have rung the bell, and then your most active subscribers after that.
Say that.
Okay,
I
so
missed
we
that.
try to
they notify all your subscribers that have rang the bell by your subscribe button, and then your most active subscribers after that. That's it.
Wow.
by the people who we believe would be most likely to tune in and watch your content.
That's right.
While it's live.
That's right.
While not
So
necessarily.
YouTube.
Is that-
YouTube is deciding this.
That's
All of your
only
subscribers.
live, or when you just put out a video?
when you put out a video.
Wow.
Because I always wondered about that too, because I'm subscribed to a lot of channels and I don't get.
Agreed. That's why
Notified
I've
of all
always
of them.
wondered about it. And there's other things too, like even other things such as Spotify and whatever. Like I follow certain artists that when they post, I have my notifications on and I never get shit.
No, Spotify's weird because I feel like I never get anything.
Yeah. So
on that.
I've always wondered about that.
But here's my thing: are you on Apple Podcasts? Do you subscribe to any of them?
Yeah, just a couple.
You always get notified of new episodes.
Yep, always.
Okay, here's the problem, because Apple Podcasts works kind of the same way, but they default to ringing the bell.
Right.
You have to turn it off in order to not get those notifications.
yeah, and I guess
to me, when I subscribe to a channel, it's like if I subscribe to a magazine, am I going to leave it up to time to tell me, well, he might not want this subscription to
Yeah.
it? Like, no.
Yeah, like give me all of it.
Right, unless I tell you otherwise.
Right.
I want I want all of it.
Yeah.
I'm subscribed to this channel. I want all of the content.
So
I
what's-
don't want you to tell me what content that I want.
So were you able to go next level with any of it and see what people's thoughts and reactions were on it? Like, are creators upset about that?
yeah, that's how I found out about it. Is it's been going around, and and honestly, I haven't seen any of the other side of it because I don't really see there being another side. Just because it's like
I can't envision the other side either, because to me, if I subscribe to a channel,
I know
and
Joel was tweeting about it, and I can't remember exactly what he said.
if I
but-
subscribe to a channel, I want to know about the videos they post. If I get sick of the notifications about them posting a video,
right.
I will unsubscribe, or I will go into my settings to try to figure out if I can mute the notifications or whatever the case may be.
It should be up to me.
But it should start with, if I subscribe to a channel, I know when they drop content.
right.
That's the whole point of subscribing to me. It's not to just run my numbers up.
I don't want YouTube to decide what
Yeah.
I want to see.
I didn't follow and subscribe to a channel just to give them a subscriber. I
Right.
actually wanted to view the content.
Right. Exactly. Like that's I was blown away when I heard that.
Yeah, that's a surprise to me. That is news to me.
That is insane.
It makes sense though when you even think about some of the things like we have 120,000 subscribers. You would think like, for example, when we started the podcast, you would think that a new thing like the podcast, that just the very first one,
Yeah.
that there would be an initial push of like X amount of thousand just because this video should be sent to 120,000 people's inbox.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you would think the initial push just to be like, oh, I'm subscribed to the Specktators. I have interest in them. This is a brand new thing. Let me see what it is.
Right.
So you would think the views would be a little more initially than they are. But it's because it's not even getting pushed to these people, which is frustrating.
And that's the thing is like based on my own personal experience, I don't get notified of every channel
Right,
that
I know.
So there must be some truth to this, regardless of if maybe this was taken out of context or like whatever. But at the same time, it's like, for some reason, I'm not getting notified of all the videos that I'm subscribed to. So there's something wrong there.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see where that goes, if anything gets changed with that. What even like in the comments on this video, I'd like to just hear from our subscribers. Any of their experiences
For sure.
with those things.
Here's what Joel said about it. He said, it seems like a lot of people are characterizing this clip as a discussion on how sub feeds work, or sub feeds for videos work. When watching the whole video gives you the context that this appears to be an explanation as to how push notifications work for live streams. Okay.
Well, that's when you first read it. That's why I asked you, is that just for live or is that for any video?
But the only reason why I was posting it was because maybe it was in the video for YouTube to be talking just about live streams or something like that. But maybe they slipped into giving a further insight as to how actual sub buttons work.
And then it made you think about how you are subscribed to things that you don't get. Yeah, right.
I'm an active YouTube user.
Yeah, and you'll come across videos to channels you're subscribed to that never popped up to you.
A lot.
Right. And I'm same way for me.
A lot.
Yeah, and so yeah, I would be interested just to hear from our subscribers and the thing is, unfortunately, the people that watch this podcast are probably some of our more active subscribers,
right?
Who would get the push notifications.
Yeah.
So maybe that won't tell us a whole lot.
And here's the thing, though, is there's channels that I regularly watch on YouTube that I'm subscribed to, but I still don't get notified of every video.
Yeah.
Why?
Don't know.
I mean, but that's why
I will say this.
I looked at this video and I was like, I mean, even if they're talking about live streams only, there's got to be some truth to this, like outside of the live stream realm. And it might be like a minute relative thing, but there is something wrong with that.
Yeah. Based off our experience.
Off, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that is experiencing this. I've been experiencing it for a long time.
You said it kind of became a big thing out.
Yeah, people kept retweeting it, and that's why Joel rightly said that, like, he watched the whole live stream, and it was based on the context of live streams.
Right, and I believe that based off of just the few sentences you read me at the beginning. But I will say, if, like, maybe like you said, part of the reason it became a shitstorm a little bit is because people like you, who are YouTube creators and are aware of these things, have wondered about that and took that to the next level.
Exactly.
So yeah, I would just say this as a bottom line, I guess. If it is just a live thing, okay, that's fine. If it comes out that there is any truth that if you're subscribed to a channel and they post a video and it doesn't go to your inbox, like it doesn't give you push notifications, that's an issue for YouTube, because bottom line, if you subscribe to a channel, you should be made aware of all the content that they post. That's
to me, that's how it should work.
Your settings and adjustments should go from there as a user.
Right.
So if it's not that way, that needs to change. And I hope that everything becomes transparent.
But I do feel like even people that aren't immersed into the YouTube community are under the impression that when they hit subscribe, they're getting every video.
I am.
I was too
Yeah.
until as of like probably maybe 8 months ago, where I was like, wait a second, why am I not getting all of these videos? And then I started to realize, okay, there is a bell icon next to the subscribe button. Like that might have the reason for why I'm not getting every single notification. And when I click on that bell, then I get everything. But wouldn't it be to the mindset of Joe Schmo, who's not super familiar with YouTube, and everyone and all of the YouTubers are like, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my channel.
Button.
Not hit the subscribe button and hit the bell.
To be honest with you, I had no idea the bell was a thing.
Yeah, the bell's a thing.
I had no idea it was even a thing.
I don't know. But to me, like even my wife, how do I subscribe to your channel?
Yeah,
hit the subscribe button. So do I get notified of all that? I literally told her yes like a year ago.
Yeah.
And she was like, every single time, once in a while, she would be like, I don't get notified of that video. And I didn't really think of
every
anything.
single time, once in a while.
No, once in a while, it would be like,
No, I get you.
I didn't get the video. And I would always just assume, like, oh, it's something wrong with your phone and you don't know how to work technology or whatever.
But
like,
the more that shit happens,
but the
like,
more
it
that
starts
shit
happening
happens
to you, it happens to her. It happens to,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
you start to wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that comes to light. If that's a thing.
I mean, it's got to be just based off of personal experience. I don't know how far it goes, but off of personal experience, there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe should mean that I get everything. If you want to use the bell icon and you want to have it active by default when somebody hits subscribe, I'm like podcasts and stuff like that, I'm way more fine with that.
Right.
Way more fine. But to set the precedent that subscribe doesn't actually mean that you get all of the content, like, that's just not even what subscribe means.
No,
in
it's like
heads.
it was a good comparison. By you subscribe to a magazine, are they going to say, "Oh, after you get 1 year of magazines, are they going to start to say, well, they seemed more interested in these issues, so we're only going to send them these issues now. We're not going to send them the other stuff." No, I subscribe to the magazine,
right?
Like I subscribe to this YouTube channel.
Yeah,
I want what they post,
right? The umbrella company of Sports Illustrated then decides what I get, what issues I get.
Right.
Get out of
it
here.
would be up to you to hit up Sports Illustrated and say, I only want the swimsuit edition.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
It shouldn't just be, oh, he really seemed to enjoy that swimsuit edition.
Yeah. I'm only going to send him that one.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
I subscribe to your magazine. That means I want all of it.
I only want the swimsuit
and I
edition.
can decide I can decide whether or not I want to read those when you send them to me.
Exactly. So if I'm a user and I get annoyed with certain content from a creator, I'm either going to A, try to adjust my settings to not get that if it's possible, or B, unsubscribe.
Right.
That's the point.
Right. I don't want YouTube making decisions for me.
Yeah. We could take that to a broader sense of just the world, other people making decisions for us. But
oh my God.
We won't go there.
I think that's what our users want, is for us to make decisions for us. Yeah. Like, no.
So all of YouTube can just whatever. We won't
like
even,
really.
We won't even go down that road.
I really want to know, like, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the minority as far as like, maybe most people do want YouTube to make decisions for them.
I wouldn't think so though, especially because the other side of that. It's not a complicated algorithm to allow the user
to hit a button to not get a subscription. Right. Like, whoa, that's pretty fucking tough.
Right. Or to not even, I'm not even saying unsubscribe. I'm saying to have settings where you don't get a push notification. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
But that's what the bell is. But that's what the bell should be.
That's what I'm saying. That's not a like they already have the algorithm. They just need to like reverse it.
Right.
So and to me, there's no downside to that. I don't see a downside to that as a user. Like what you just said, maybe other people want YouTube to make the decisions for them. Like, I don't see any logic in that.
Because people just hit subscribe to hit subscribe, and their subscription box is just so absurd that because they don't know how, like, they can't fathom the fact of like unsupporting somebody. That's the only thing that I could think of.
I don't know. That's weird.
Like, I can't unsubscribe because then someone might get mad at me or something. Like I don't
but
really
I'm not
get
even
that.
talking about unsubscribing. I'm talking about just push notifications. I don't see where anyone's argument would be of
to reverse the bell, to say when you subscribe, the bell gets rung, and then if you don't want it, then you unring the bell.
Right. I don't see what anyone's argument against that would be. No, I want to be subscribed to a channel but not get notified of the content. I wanted to decide if I want to get notified of the content.
It's so backwards though. Like I don't understand that.
Because especially because it's all within YouTube. Like if you're talking about your iPhone as far as push notifications or something,
Right.
Okay, maybe I could see possibly you saying I want them to assume I don't want all these notifications popping up on my phone and I have to go in and turn them on.
Right.
Because you have your phone on you at all times.
Right.
Like you have all these things on it, whatever. We're talking about like within YouTube.
Yeah.
So when you're on YouTube,
Right.
do you want these?
You're
already using YouTube.
Here's a scenario for you. What do you think of this? So you're subscribed to a channel, and I'm trying to even think of an example, but like Casey, you probably don't know enough about him.
Not a lot about him.
But here's the deal. So okay, so let's assume. I mean, Casey does. He creates a lot of different types of content and posts them all on the same channel. Okay, so there's some things that I enjoy and some things that I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
The content wise that he creates, and he labels them differently sometimes, and blah blah blah. So I'm sure YouTube has an algorithm in the background that's like, Matt will enjoy this type of video, but he won't enjoy this type of video from Casey. Okay, fair. But at the same time, I would rather and the reason why they're going to say that this is best for everybody is because they're trying to protect Casey from spamming everybody's notifications,
which is a cool idea,
which is fine. But here's the problem. This is what I believe as far as when I hit subscribe and someone starts spamming me out with more shit that I don't care about compared to shit that I do, guess what happens? You get unsubscribed from, or at least you get the bell like out of here. Like I don't care anymore. To me, you should leave it up to the creator. Hey, creator, don't piss off your fucking subscriber.
Right.
Don't leave it up to YouTube to be like, I'm going to sift through all of your content and choose which ones your audience
If they really want to get complicated with that and help the users sift through what they think they might like, that needs to be a separate thing. Have it be a ranking option, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Things like
I mean,
that, we rank by popularity based off of your history, whatever.
Right.
Have it be like that. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't like that idea of them just.
But that's what YouTube would argue, though, is you have so many of these channels that like post so many different things, and you only like a third of it.
Yeah.
And users will get pissed if you're getting notified for all that. How about you just be a responsible user and are just like, hey, you want my subscription? Don't spam me out with shit that I don't give a shit about.
Yeah. And if you don't give a shit, then unsubscribe. Like,
right. It's not hard.
Yeah. I'm with you. You want to get to some fan questions?
All right. Let's do it.
Are you topicked out?
I'm topic out.
I'm a topic out.
Boys, it's Porteous.
Porteous.
My question would have been perfect last week because you guys kind of dabbled on it a touch, but
so why are
not
you
like
asking
in
now?
full detail. But Bruce and I have talked about this a few times, and so it's perfect to add on this. But was the late 90s, call it like 99, through maybe like 2007, 2008, the best run of like hip hop, R&B, and pop, or does it just feel like that because it's what we grew up with? All right, yeah.
I'm glad. Shout out Porteous. He's the homie. Used to live in Denver. We stay with him on tour and go visit him a lot out when we were out west and things like that. Always been a big supporter of us, even early on. So shout out Porteous. I want to answer this question because it really intrigues me. I'm glad that other people are intrigued by this because we've talked about it multiple times, the nostalgia factor in music.
Yep.
I almost want to say I'm going to write this down and really do like a deeper dive into it next podcast and make it a real topic, because I feel like it's always just randomly come up amid other topics when we've talked about it. Mm-hmm. Maybe we set it aside and actually make it a topic that we're ready to talk about and try to actually come up with a verdict on it instead of just like, oh, nostalgia factor is always a thing. Like maybe let's try to nail it down and talk about it next week.
Right.
Would you be down?
Yeah. My hot take on it is
better be a hot take.
I don't think that
That's not a good start to a hot take.
No, I mean, I know what I want to say, but I'm trying to. So he said 99 to like 2007, 2008.
Yeah, basically that decade.
Would you even say R&B was even like that great at that? Really?
100%.
Who are we talking about?
I mean, maybe R&B was better like the decade before that.
Yeah, that's what I would argue.
That's why I want to go. That's why I want to actually make it a topic and go do some research, because like I'm self-admittedly not the best when we're talking about like specific years. I have a hard time knowing remembering exactly what was out, because I just kind of group like the 90s together.
Yeah,
and like even 90s and early 2000s, those kind of 95 to 2005 kind of blend together. So if we want to actually compare decades and things like that, I kind of want to go back and say like, okay, what really, because it's easy to just be like, oh, that during that time, I think what really was going on and popping in these times. So I kind of want to actually go do the research.
And that's fine. And my hot take would be if we can throw out R&B in this, because
just
I'm
say
not
hip-hop?
just say hip hop.
Okay.
To me, like 99 to 2007, I would argue was when hip hop really hit its pocket, because that is when it became, throughout that time, the most popular genre.
What do you mean became the most popular genre? Because it just recently became the most popular genre.
No. When it started to have, not when it was straight up the most popular genre.
Basically, what you're saying is hip hop popularity has gone like this, and then 99, like that period of time, it went like that. It exponentially grew.
Yeah, exactly. To the point now where we can say that it is the most popular genre in the world.
Yeah, and I honestly, I'm disappointed in your hot take, because I don't think that's a crazy hot take.
It's not a crazy hot take. That's why I wanted to just have the hot take, is because I do think that that's, because younger people would argue that, though.
Yeah, but they weren't around.
But that's what I'm saying, is it's like, I think it's...
And older people would argue that the decade before is when it started doing that. And they might have an argument. So that's why we need to have this nostalgia factor.
Right.
Is everyone... That was our generation.
But that's...
Let me stop you. Because that period was our formative generation. Those were our formative years.
Understand.
So it's like big coincidence that you think that's the year that hip-hop really...
But here's the thing. I would like to see the numbers, because I actually think in my head, if I can separate myself from nostalgia-wise, there's a reason why hip-hop is the most popular genre right now, today. It didn't just happen like hip-hop, 2018, boom! Like,
No, I know. I'm not arguing that. But I'm just saying I could hear an argument. Like, I tend to agree with you on when that time period, but I could hear an argument that the decade before that is when hip-hop really did that exponential growth, and those guys were thinking of just carrying the torch.
And here's the thing. I would love to hear that argument,
Right.
But whatever argument that I'm listening to, and I'm not even saying that mine is based off of fact. Whatever one, but my gut feeling, if I look up the facts right now, it's going to tell me that from 99 to 2008 or whatever, 2010, that's when the spike happened.
Yeah.
That's all I'm arguing. I'm taking nostalgia out of it. I'm taking everything. I want to argue the facts. I want to argue the numbers.
No, I know. That's the idea, because then you can determine whether nostalgia was a thing. Or not.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think about, ever since you brought up that R&B thing. Like, I honestly don't think 99 to like 2009 was even that great. Like, because this is why I need to do the research on it, because I think of an artist like when you think R&B at its peak, you think of an artist like Usher at his peak. But what was his peak? I want to say it was before 99, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was after. I'm just not good with those dates.
Yeah,
so
I'm not either.
That's why I kind of want to do a little bit of research and really nail down what those dates were.
That's why I'm saying R&B. I'm not too familiar with.
And I think our
as far
fans
as
care a
those.
little bit more about hip-hop than R&B.
Yeah.
So we'll try to focus on hip-hop.
That's why I'm not comfortable giving that hot take, but
right.
I mean, my gut's telling me that, like, from those time periods, I think any stats would probably back me up on that.
Yeah. That's a good question. I want to do a deep dive on that. On hope maybe the next
Maybe we can hit up DJ Booth and have him do that for us.
like write an article about it.
Yeah.
Well, we should do a podcast. Send them the link to the podcast, and then have them write an article.
Have
about
them
it.
refute it when we're wrong.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Hey, Paki, hey, Mo, and whoever else is on the podcast. I'm Connor. I'm from the Philadelphia area, and I was curious to know, because I think you guys live in the Grand Rapids area, like around Michigan State, what it's like to, like, just be in town. Like, you guys get recognized, like, pretty often, and I heard you guys mention that you might tour soon in a podcast or two ago. Please come to Philly. I've been like a fan since 2013, and I'd love to see you guys in person. Thank you.
Weren't we in Philly in 2014?
Yeah. We were, but you know, people miss things. Shout out that question though. I forgot his name. Do you remember?
Connor?
Connor. Yeah, that's right. Good question. Yeah, we want to tour. We're trying to work on some things for the fall, possibly. It's just I never want to guarantee anything or whatever till things happen, because even already in starting these things off, things go back and forth so much that I just don't want to make any guarantees. But once we know things about touring, you guys will know, because trust me, and for all you guys that have been asking about touring for so long, if I am near your city, I better see you guys, because it has been a while. What was the first part of the question? I forgot.
It was what it's like living.
Oh yeah, that's a cool question. I think it's
not what you think,
or it is.
How? Maybe for you.
Oh yeah, well it's not like I mean, I can go anywhere in my hometown and like I can go to the mall and not be recognized.
Yeah.
But plenty, like enough, I get recognized enough times for it to be a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, but no, it's not like I go to the mall on a Saturday when it's popping and I'm expecting someone to come up to me and be like, "Oh, Paki." No, it's not like that.
Right.
I'm always surprised when it happens, but it happens.
It doesn't happen a lot. Let's just say that. But it does happen.
No, I would never say it happens a lot, but
right.
it happens.
Right.
I don't really know how to describe it really, like as far as how often, but like I guess that's the best way to say it. Like I can go anywhere and have zero expectation of being recognized, and anytime it does happen, it's like, oh, cool.
Right. Yeah. True.
Hey guys, this is Christian, aka Speck Myers, aka Speck Stays Lost, aka Coach Speck. I'm a huge fan. You know I'm from Toledo, Ohio. I've just got a quick question for Paki Raps and Moti.
Cut him off. He called me Paki Raps.
Get a collective project like Cruel Summer or Cozy Tapes from the Speck. Also, I got to know, am I going to see y'all at YoFest 2018? You know it's going to be crazy. OJ's coming back to the Mitt. It's going to be show of the year. Hope to see y'all. Thanks.
Shout out Speck Myers. He's the man.
AKA Coach Speck.
He's the man. Don't ever call me Paki Raps again, or you're not asking any more questions on the podcast, and we're not sending you any gear.
You cut off.
Thanks for finally getting your address right so we could send you some Speck gear. Yeah, you can. I see you adding new sounds today.
Oh yeah.
You can expect some shit from the collective. Just I can't tell you when. Like we've talked about it and we want to get in there and do it, but everybody has their own shit to work on at the moment. So we're not making a collective project a priority,
right?
Because it's more important for everyone to get their own names out there. But no, it's something on our radar, and I would expect it to happen eventually. As far as YoFest, shout out Ali Joseph and the other guys involved with that. Yeah, I forget the date of it. Do you remember?
I don't remember. No.
But no, I saw it, and I plan on stopping through and seeing what's good. I'm really happy to see those guys doing shit like that. It reminds me of us coming up with Green Scheme and kind of having a brotherhood like that and working off of each other and using other people's connections and friends and fan bases and actually forming a bond like that, because in a city like Lansing, you need that to help each other come up. No, like it's rare that anyone can just do it themselves. So
It's the right way to do things.
Yeah, it's awesome to see that, and I want to make sure that I support it because I think it's the right way and a good way to do things, and it takes effort to do that shit. And I like to see the buzz around it. I like to see our fans supporting those guys because it's important. And yeah, you can expect to see me there, and I'm rooting all those guys on. I think that's dope to see.
What's up, guys? This is Brian Fulkerson from Owensboro, Kentucky. Thanks for taking my call last week and as well as this week. So I got two quick ones real fast. On Power Up, did Paki tell us he's colorblind? Because I'm colorblind by my outfits. What did he say?
No, coordinate!
Anyway,
He had it.
And then the other thing is on No Deal. I was just curious if you could elaborate on the whole MTV situation, kind of give us an insider's perspective, if you could. I understand if you can't. But I'm an artist or a musician myself, and I kind of like, I like music and songs, and I like to read into them. And that really struck me, and I was like, oh, shit, they just told MTV, fuck you. That's pretty badass. Anyway, thanks, dude.
Yeah, good question, Brian. Great rendition of Power Up. I'm colorblind. So is Mo. As far as No Deal goes, I feel like I've told this story many times, but I don't know if I've said it in a video where it can be like replayed. Maybe I've just...
I don't think so. Not until like detail. You did, because you had that Q&A at one of our shows, and you went into pretty far in depth in that. But
maybe that's what it was.
But it wasn't on a video.
So, man, at this point, it was like so long ago that I probably specifics that I leave out. But as far as trying to answer your question to the best of my ability, and you jump in, Mo, and I'll probably ask you to jump in. But we were in talks with MTV and Sony. They had a platform together called Hype Music. And they reached out to us and wanted to sign us. And we hadn't made any money off our music at this point. This was probably 2012.
Yeah.
Like late 2012, maybe mid.
Yeah. Mid 2012, I think.
And so we started talking to them. I want to say it was late, because when they first reached out to us, we were pretty ready to drop the transition. And
yeah, but we waited. We waited a long time.
I know. And that's what I'm saying is they wanted to be a part of that release.
Right.
And so they kept pushing it back. We wanted to put it out. I don't remember the specific month, but I want to say we wanted to put it out late 2012 or like some end of summer, beginning of fall 2012 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was fall 2012 that we wanted to put it out.
And they kept pushing it back, and to the point that I'm pretty sure we got to early 2013. I don't know when did the transition actually drop? Summer of 2013 or like March, April, something like that of 2013?
Oh, wait, maybe I'm getting my days confused, because maybe we were wanting to do summer of 2012, and then we ended up doing fall of 2012 for transition.
I'm trying to look up the release date right now.
Yeah, I can't.
So we put it up on YouTube April 30th, 2013. That seems right to me. That's right. Yeah, that's right on my timeline.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Man, that is super late.
That's what I'm saying. We wanted. I think we wanted to drop it late 2012.
Yeah.
And they kept pushing it back to the point where, like I told you, we hadn't made any money off our music. We had never really tried this shit, as far as we had just done a bunch of free mixtapes, and we're gaining a fan base.
Right.
And so they want to be a part of it, and we're thinking, okay, yeah, we're giving up a percentage of money to you guys, but we're all about exposure and growing and growing and growing and growing.
Right.
And so we thought, okay, this is a good way to get out to a new batch of people, and they can maybe help put us on some shows or things like that, or some publishing stuff, whatever. As they keep pushing this back, they become harder and harder to get a hold of.
Mm-hmm.
We're not getting great explanations for anything. It just keeps getting pushed back. to the point, I don't remember exactly how many months, but I want to say it was like 4 or 5 months of getting pushed back.
I think it was like, yeah, I'm on to say it was like January that we finally were just kind of like of 2013.
Yeah, I was thinking like February or March of 2013 because we put it out and we put it out end of April.
Yeah.
And granted, this whole time it's ready to go.
Yeah.
And we kept pushing it back. We wanted to move out west. It was part of our way to raise a little money to move out west.
Right.
And we started even just thinking about it wasn't only getting frustrated with them. It was also just a combination of that and you know what? We've never actually tried this just on our own to see what type of money we could make because we had no idea.
No.
Like it's hard to try to guess because this is back in the age of downloading music.
Yep.
So it's hard to guess what type of stuff is going to translate from downloads to purchases.
Right.
Like you just have no way of guessing that if you've never done it.
Right.
So we were just like, you know what? They're being dicks.
Mm.
Is this really a situation we want to lock ourselves into? And we said no. And we got out of it before we ever did anything with them. We dropped the transition. You guys were super supportive of that. We moved out to LA and we did the parlay completely on our own and that was a wrap. And that's I've told people, especially people that want to do music, and like you said, you're a musician and things like that. I've told people there's plenty of mistakes we've made along the way, and things I regret, things I would do differently. That is one that I am extremely happy with still to this day.
Yeah, for sure.
Like there's zero part of me that's like, oh, I wonder what would have happened if we would have stayed with them. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy we went the other way. Mm-hmm. So as far as them being unresponsive and just not great to work with, blessing in disguise. Mm-hmm. But I guess that's a little bit of detail for you as far as that goes and why we made the decision we made. And it was, as far as signing with them, it got very far along. Like if you guys have followed us for a while, you know that we don't make things official to you guys unless they're official.
Yeah.
And we made a video like announcing that we signed with them.
Yeah.
Because it was that far along.
Yeah.
And
we made that video long after our talks and everything.
We had been in talks with them for
we
a
had
while.
like a timeline. We had everything.
It was
all
planned.
ironed out.
Yeah, this wasn't just us on a whim like, oh, they want us, we're signed, boom,
Right.
we're making a video. It was all planned out. And so that was part of the reason why pulling the plug was difficult for us too, is it was a well thought out decision.
Right.
It wasn't just on a whim thing. And but
it was our first real world insight though to how the music industry works.
That's true.
Nothing is ever official until it's literally out.
Yeah. And you might think things are dope until you actually get involved in them.
Right. I forgot about a question on Twitter.
Okay.
And I'm going to play it. So,
hey, what's up, guys? First of all, greetings from the Netherlands. Secondly, I'm sorry for being a little bit quiet, but it's currently 3:30 a.m. and I don't want to wake up my family. Anyway, a couple of podcasts ago, Paki wore a dope-ass Specktators hoodie. I think it had some brown in it and some gray in it. It was obviously from an old collection. It was hella dope. And the big YouTuber Legion, you obviously know him, I think. He has a lot of pictures where he has, I think it's a parlay snapback, which is also fucking dope. And that kind of led me to this question. I was just wondering, will you guys ever bring those old collections back? Like, if you bring that hoodie back and that Specktators or that parlay snapback, I would definitely cop it instantly. So that's basically my question. Will the old collections ever come back? Maybe for like a week, like a Specktators throwback thing or whatever. It would be hella dope. Apologies for my bad English and for being quiet. See you.
First of all, don't ever apologize. Dope question. Shout out Netherlands. That's dope. Appreciate you for the question. Volume was perfectly fine. English was perfectly fine.
Flawless English.
Yeah, don't ever apologize. As far as the gear goes, I think he's referring to the
two-tone hoodie.
Two-tone gray with the black sleeves that I wore. And I believe the hat was the Spec Shield.
No, Paki hat with the P on
Gotcha.
it.
Okay. Okay. You can expect some Paki gear because we haven't had any in a while. So you can expect that. As far as throwback spec merch, maybe once in a while, like an official throwback, as far as we've been using that minimal logo a lot. That's just the 3-stripe white spec logo. And maybe maybe at some point we'll throw back a little bit of gear that actually has like the with the word spec in it. But as far as just to give you guys a little, I like to give you guys a little real life insight on this podcast as to our business and things like that. Decisions we make as far as some of those things go, I'll take the hoodie he's talking about, for example. So we have this fan base, right? Of this fan base, this small percentage really, really buys a lot of gear. You know, if you think about having hundreds of thousands of people that listen to your music, we're not sending out hundreds of thousands of orders to different people.
Right.
So you have this small percentage of people that actually buy the gear. So when we released those hoodies, X amount of people bought them. So as far as, and we get those numbers on how many people buy them and blah, blah, blah. So as far as going and doing it again, we have to look at it as, does it make sense? Like all these people that normally buy gear already got it.
Right.
Do they want it again, or would they rather have a new thing? And yeah, I'm sure we've made new fans in the meantime, and there's other people, so it's a possibility, but is it a better option to us than just making a new thing?
Well, I mean, taking that a step further, the reason why we have to think about that is because in order for us to order these again, we have to order a certain amount for it to make sense for us.
Right.
So,
yeah, we can't just order like 10 and say, okay,
right.
Whoever wants one, have
exactly.
one.
That's what makes it complicated for us. So we actually have to think about these things. Like, it's great that you would go out and buy one, but we would have to get at least like 30 of you to go out and buy it again in order for it to make sense.
At least.
Probably
more than that, but
more than that. But I'm just saying at the very minimum
right.
for us to
just say it, like whatever,
right.
We didn't take a loss or something like
exactly.
that. Yeah, right. But yeah, good question, because I know a lot of people do ask for old gear items to be brought back and things like that, and it does make me think when I see those things, oh, that would be dope. But we more look at creating the new stuff. And maybe we can even do in the future like some retro things where it's new, but it also brings some aspects of the old into it. But
yeah.
But thanks for the question.
That's it for the questions.
Is it? I thought we had one more voicemail. No. Okay.
4 voicemails, 1 Twitter one.
Cool. We did 4 voicemails.
We did 4 voicemails. I think. Right.
I thought we only did 3. No, we did 4.
We did 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. You got anything to say? That's it for me. That was a quality podcast. I was really into that.
Yeah, it's a good one. Good topics.
First quality podcast we've had. Number 10
ever.
We're really hitting our stride. I'll be posting the Final Four polls at the end of the week this week, so we can determine a champion. So make sure you're voting on those. Thanks to everybody that's been a part of it so far. Danny Griffith just texted me and said that the Green Mitten website is up at noon. It's 11:30 right now, so by the time you guys see this, it will be up. So feel free to go check that out.
Like as far as our new gear goes?
It's just a whole new website. I don't even know. But I know it'll have new gear on it.
Wow.
It'll have gear on it. Yeah, spend that money. That's all I got.
Dope. So, thanks for the call-in, guys. The questions, keep them coming. We like answering them on every single podcast. I would like to keep those going. I hope that we never have a podcast where we don't have questions.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Like, I feel like some we won't, because it's just every week. Like that's a lot for people to just be calling and asking questions every week with interest. But hopefully. Well,
I know there's a lot more of you guys listening. Don't be afraid to call in. We don't bite. Well, sometimes we might, but
we don't bite like Tory Lanez. I feel like I've been touching my mic a lot this podcast. Get off my dick.
All right. We good?
Bye-bye.
I'm going to outro today with Marcus Ryan's 3 Ohios featuring Cyrus. If I can play it.